Kevin, I think now is a nice time to start talking about Film Freeway. So if you want to go into
Perfect.
that introduction of going there, signing up, and show them how easy it is and where that is, we can go there
All
so
right.
persons can start looking around for themselves.
All right. Good timing because I did want Patrick to get a piece of this. So let me run through some stuff quickly. Let's see now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just do an overview first of Film Freeway and then I'll go into signing up. So this is Film Freeway. Film Freeway is one of the websites that you can sign up to basically enter festivals, right? There are others, and we'll talk about that one later. But Film Freeway is a very useful one. And a lot of festivals use Film Freeway for submissions. Formerly, you'd have to go to their website and submit, and there were different ways of submitting, and it gets confusing and difficult to keep track of which festival did I enter, right? So here is its deal now. So this is Film Freeway. Film Freeway, it lists many festivals and you can search for festivals. So let's say, for example, you want to search for festivals that are specific to Christianity, right? Because your film, you believe, resonates well with that. Oh, I spelled it wrong, right? Resonates with people who are Christians. You can type that word in and you can look for festivals, right? And many festivals will show up and you can look through to see what suits you best. Now let me just click on one of them so you can see. You will see pictures from the festival. You will see a description of the festival. You can see the type of awards that they give, the rules, etc., comments people have about the festival. You can see where they're located over here to the left, whether it's a Gold Coast festival or not. And I'll tell you what that means in a bit. In some, you can see how many years it's been running for, 6 years, and that's important, which I'll get to in a bit. On the right hand side, you will see submit now, and you can see what their deadlines are for different submissions. Based on the fact that you're seeing here, August, September, October, November, etc., it means it looks like this festival is something that happens monthly, right? Which is very rare. Now, when I click on submit now, you will see the prices for the different categories, right? And you can go through and look to see if a category applies to you or not. Now, some festivals are free of cost. And you might, if you want to test the waters, you might want to choose the free ones first, see how well you do before committing to paying. So how do you find the free ones, you might ask? Very simple. So what I'm going to do over here to the left, these are the filters. Now I'm going to click open only, so it will only show me festivals that are open. And I am going to go down to, you don't have to click this, but I'll click film festivals, right? You could click screenwriting contest if you're a writer, or music contest if you're a musician. Online festivals if you only want to focus on online festivals, but almost every festival is online at the moment. And you can click animation if you want to narrow it down to festivals that accept animations, right? You can even click on student if you want to narrow it down to festivals that accept student films. So now we're looking and we're seeing all of those films that are, Christian related film festivals that accept animations. And if you want to know, figure out, hey, I want to know about the freeness. See here, entry fees to my left, right here. If I click on this toggle and I move it over to 0, it will now only show me the festivals that I don't have to pay for in that category, which would be these 2 here, right? So if I click submit now, you should see free, right? Let us say you believe that your film resonates more with environmental causes, right? You can type in the keyword environment, all the other filters apply, and you can start looking through, okay, what applies to me, right? See, we have your Washington, D.C. High School Film Festival. So as I said, some festivals are specific to schools, right? Let's see if there's anything for disabilities. There's a Disability Education Film Festival. There's, what else? You can look for film festivals that are specific to Black, say a Black Film Festival, if you want to go that route. Africa, if you want to target Africa. you name it, right? You can find, you know, you can find anything. Yeah, we see here Africa Human Rights Film Festival. So that's the first thing that you'll be looking at, right? And on the left here, you see some spotlighted things like Gold Plus. Gold Plus basically, so you essentially, Gold Plus festivals are higher profile festivals, and you can sign up for a Gold Plus license. It costs money, but if you're entering festivals regularly, the Gold Plus makes a difference. It saves you money. Right? If you know that you're going to be entering several festivals for the year, it suits you to get a Gold Plus membership because you'll save money on each festival entry. And if you pay for entries, trust me, you'll know it costs a lot of money. And then you'll see things like Academy Award and BAFTA Award qualifying festivals. This is something that Shireen spoke about. So if you are at that level where you feel like, yeah, man, I am now ready to compete against the best in the world, you can say, all right, let me look for all of the qualifying festivals. And these are the festivals you focus on, right? And I mean, Sundance is like the top of the top, right? You may not want to necessarily compete in this, but if you feel in your heart of hearts that no man, I can mash up Sundance, then go right ahead. But there are other festivals, you know, that Slam Dance is a big festival. Stockholm is a big festival. Atlanta Film Festival is a big festival. Short Shorts, all of these are big festivals. You, oh, you can also look for Caribbean festivals if you want. There are quite a few up here. Anyway, I'm going to skip past that now. And I know Patrick will have to leave. So Patrick, you know,
Yes,
thanks for coming through. Yeah,
yes, and thank you so much for inviting me.
yeah, man.
And just keep me updated, please.
I will. And you keep us updated on what festivals you enter, please.
Yes, yes,
So
I
we
will.
can add to
All
the
right.
timeline.
Yeah,
Yes.
man.
Oh,
Thank you, guys.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, and there's an
right.
article on the website about you, so you'll be seeing that soon.
Oh, okay.
About
Thank
you
you,
and
guys.
your humble life. All right.
Yes. All right, guys. Bye. Have a good Sunday.
Bye.
Good. All right. So
Guys, sorry, I just want to comment. The short list, the free list is not short. It's just because there are a lot of filters on this. So
yeah,
these
if
festivals
I
that you're seeing are open, student, animation. What was the other one you put in there,
I put
Kevin?
in animation student, I put in film festivals, and I lowered the dollar amount. So if I just lower the dollar amount alone, and I must have some other filter on the time. Let me just click clear filters,
Yeah, clear all filters.
and let's just go down to 0. You'll see there are tons of free festivals here. You know, and even if you don't want to put in the filter, you can just type in keywords animation, and you'll see that there are tons of free animation festivals. Right? And don't limit yourself to just student festivals. The student festivals might be good for you to submit because you have a higher chance of winning, but that doesn't mean that you won't win something that is non-student focused. Right? But there are tons and tons and tons and tons, you know, and you can even list by region. So let's say, for example, you know, Canada. Like one of the things that I suggest, we actually have a list of festivals that are in Florida, and the reason for that was because a lecturer asked us what festivals exist in Florida that she could possibly send her students to, because she was thinking that a lot of students would have family in Florida, and if they could fly up for the festival, it would be good for them. Because again, we say networking is important. These days they have ways for you to network online, which is great, but nothing beats networking in person. Uh, all right, so I want to talk about the dashboard now. So the dashboard is a great place to basically look at what's been going on with your festival entries and even notifications, right? So for me, you'll see here, I got a notification saying, congratulations, Lagos International Festival of Animation. Lifanima has updated your submission to selected. So that's basically just saying that one of my animations was selected and will be screened at their event. And another one saying, congratulations, Film Olympiad has updated your submission to selected. So same thing here. There are also updates on watch list. You can set a watch list. So if you see festivals that you like and you realize, oh, this festival is closed, but the next time this festival comes up, I want to be ready for it. You can add it to your watch list. So that same LA festival Dominic was talking about, he can put it on his watch list so that when it opens, he will get an email saying, hey, your watch list has been updated, and you click on your watch list and you will see, you know, what festival is now up to date.
Okay.
You have this dashboard here showing me how many submissions I've done, how many have been selected, and you have these little rings here showing you, like, you know, how many awards you've won, or, you know, if you're a finalist in anything, semi-finalist, etc. And it kind of gives you an idea of where you have submitted festivals to. Let me see if
There's
I'm missing
another
anything.
important thing here.
Mhm.
Could you scroll up to your submissions and selections, please, Kevin? And I
Sure.
hate to point this out. There are 56 submissions here and 26 selections. That means there are 30 festivals here that he's either waiting on or has not been selected to.
Right.
So do not think that just because a festival did not accept you, that your work is not good. It might just be that there is a high percentage or a high quality. Something else might be what they're looking for. There are all sorts of reasons people don't get selected for festivals. I have found, particularly when we were helping people get ready for Kingston, that because they were not accepted last year, they did not try again the next time. You
Yeah,
are
I'm glad
always
you made that.
improving.
Yep, glad you
Yeah.
made that point. So the film, here's the thing about the film festival game, and it's something that people need to drill in their head, is that don't fear rejection. Rejection is not a reflection of whether your film is bad or not. Rejection is just, it just means that that's not what the festival is looking for, right? That's all it means. So somebody might, and this is why I always say, be realistic about your film, because people just go, oh, Sundance is the biggest festival. I want to enter Sundance because I want to be in the academies. And then they don't get selected, and then their ego gets deflated, and they go, oh man, I'm no good. I can't bother enter no more festival because clearly I'm no good. No, that is not the case. That is not the case at all, because you might, if it's a numbers game, you have to just look at festivals, analyze whether or not this festival makes sense for you, submit, and you're going to get more rejections than you do acceptance. It happens with almost every film, right? If it doesn't happen with your film,
Oh.
chances are you're already famous. What was
Or
that,
no,
Sherry?
actually, Pixar got the Loop, their film Loop, which is about a, I believe, an autistic child at summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
That film was entered into over 100 festivals, and I believe it got rejected by about 50% of them, and that's Pixar.
There you go. There you go. And I'm pretty much running those stats right now, 50% of them. And yes, as Jan
Yeah,
said, the whole rejection thing, that's art. Like if you're an actor or a writer, trust me when I tell you, say actors get the most rejections ever.
all the time.
And book writers get, like, people don't know that the writer for Twilight, the writer for Harry Potter, the writer for, I don't remember the other book, but they got so many rejections from publishers, so
It's
many
almost
rejections.
legendary.
Yeah, man, and these are some of the highest grossing movies of all time, and they got so many rejections. So don't fear rejections, right? Anyway, let me move on. So we have a My Project section, and basically this is just pretty much where all of my projects sit. So you upload your projects to Film Freeway so that when somebody accepts your project, they can, download it. Well, view it and download it. And I'll show you here a beacon of maroons. It has 2 undecided festivals, so it's waiting to see if 2 other festivals will accept. 12 selected, 9 not selected, 2 award winners. And we have heart shaped box, which was 1 undecided, 3 selected, 4 not selected, 1 finalist. Right, so it kind of gives you a summary of your film festival acceptance, right? And you create your projects here by saying, oh, there's also a marketing option, which I'll get to later, but you click on add project, and pretty much you have to fill out all of this information. right? It's long, yes, but trust me, it's well worth it by the time, because what happens is every festival has different requirements. They've tried to basically put all the requirements on this form so that you just do it one time, and anytime a festival accepts your film, they get all the information they need. So you have to tell them the project type, whether it's a film, a script, music, photography, VR, immersive, the project title, that's necessary. A brief synopsis, not necessary, but definitely helpful. Websites, not necessary. Social media, not necessary, but definitely helpful. It helps them to research it, because what happens is film festival program coordinators or organizers, when especially when they're just starting or when they're having a slow season, they will, yes, photography. So film photography in terms of even like they have some competitions that might be poster design or that sort of thing. We can do some filters and see what festivals require photography. um, so yeah, so recruiters might be looking for films to put in their festival, because here's how it works. If a festival is new, or not a lot of people know about them, so they're going to want to outreach to persons to say, hey, think about joining this festival. I saw your project reach, and it looks like the type of thing that we're looking for. That's one. On another note, it might be a very popular festival and they have thousands of entries, but then they realize, every single entry is about COVID this year, and we really want some entries that are not about COVID, and want something that is about something else that's bothering people, and they might go, oh look, Reach is about this, this guy with one arm and he's taking care of his autistic sister. Yeah, this is the type of film we need, and they might reach out to you. So your website, your social media handles, help them to look, research you and see if this person is a good fit. You have here submitter information. So the reason why this is collapsed is simply because when you sign up to Film Freeway, you put in all your information already. So it doesn't need you to put it in again. But if you need to edit something, because maybe you have, something's been updated, you can do that here, like email address or whatever the case is, right? Then credits, this is pretty much, like, have you won anything before, or sorry, this is more what your role was on the film. So were you the director? Were you the writer? Were you the producer? Were you a key cast member? Specifications, is it an animation? Is it a documentary? Is it experimental? Is it a short? Is it student? Is it television? And as you can see, you can tick multiple if multiple apply. This helps with automatic selection for some events, because while some events you have to specify this is the category I am in. There are other festivals like the one in Greece, the Film Olympiad. They automatically entered me into several categories because their festival is more of an Olympics, where they watch the films and they analyze the films and they go, hey, I think this film has a really good script. Let's enter it into the script category. Hey, it's also a good animation, so let's enter it in the animation category as well. Hey, it also has great sound design. Let's enter it into sound design as well. So they use this information to basically figure that out. Here you put the genre, the runtime, and it's self-explanatory as you go through. You can add your awards, etc., right? And then you save your project. Once you save your project, anytime you need to submit, I'm going to go to submissions, or I should say anytime you need to submit. Let me just choose a film festival at random, and I click submit now. You see here select projects at the top left. When I click that, it shows me all of my projects that I have created, and I can just click on that one, click on which category I want to do, and what do you call it? Oh, this says only video projects are eligible. But you click add to cart and then you move on from there. So it just makes your life easy. When you see a festival you like, you click submit and you choose your project, you move on. So submissions, this is the last page, and pretty much, I'll show you how to add things to your watch list as well and create watch lists. So pretty much you can see here all the festivals that I have submitted to, right? And as you can see, it's a whole heap, right? And if you want to just look at, what's in consideration, or what's undecided, what's selected, to kind of have an idea of, okay, where this is, and you want it specific to a project, right? Let's say undecided. I can see here, okay, there are 2 films that I'm still waiting on. And if I click film festival, sorry, and even though it says, hey, notification August 15, which has passed, I have not received any notification from these persons. But I can look more detail. I can see that the event date is December 8th. I can see this was a free festival. I can see the email address and websites. I can message them if I want and see the submission date, etc., etc. Right? And when you win a festival or when you get selected for a festival, you can actually generate a laurel, right? So if I click on selected and I click on this here, you'll see create laurel. Now I can click create laurel and I can type in, or it will automatically put in official selection, Lagos International, blah, blah, blah. This is if I want to publicize that, hey, I've been selected for this festival and I want to post about it. You can generate the laurel. And same thing when you win, you can generate a laurel, right? Because festivals used to send you laurels, but it's so much work for them to have to send thousands of laurels out that Film Freeway has made it much easier for them, right? And of course, here we have notifications. So last thing I'll show you before showing you how to basically sign up is, say for example, New York Film Festival. I'm like, hey, I want to keep my eye on this New York Film Festival, you know, right? If I click the heart, you'll see save to list. So I have watch list, favorites, not interested, must consider, web series. Web series, I believe I created. I can view all lists. Animation, I had created and just basically added the animation festivals I want to keep track of with this list, right? And not remembering how to create a list right now, but I know it's very possible. Let me see
I
if I
believe
can.
you can actually create one when you're adding to watch list as well.
Yeah, I think that is it. I'm trying to add watch list view. Oh yeah, here it is. So create new list, and you can just type in a name and save and add to that. So you can categorize your lists, and you know that way your favorite festivals will be coming up. It will tell you, and you go, oh, this festival coming up. I can prepare for it. So before I go into how to sign up, are there any questions so far? Is there anything you want me to go over? Is there anything that was not clear? I would love if you open your mic. It's so weird just talking to myself.
Sorry for making you feel weird talking to yourself. But
What was that? What was that?
I don't mean to make you feel weird to talk to yourself. I apologize. But I'm working on it. You're pretty
I was pretty what? You chipped out after that.
clear. I'm on the site right now.
Oh, you're on the site right now. Okay, great. And there's another site that I'm gonna let Jonathan tell you about when I'm finished. That's a pretty good site as well. But this site is very, very good. It's very user friendly, and as I said, you can search. Like, let me tell you, like I said, you can search for Caribbean festivals, and you will see a long list come up because there are quite a few. Herona is a very new festival, but they have been really doing well from their very first festival up, right? But tons of them. There's even festivals about marijuana. You know, if you have something about marijuana, there's festivals about marijuana. Spliff, New York Cannabis Film Festival, etc., etc., etc.
That one is actually very, very popular in New York. They have an amazing marketing team.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, you mean
Eleanor,
in
you have a
America?
question? Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yes, I have a
What's going on?
question. So, for the long term, right, do you suggest creating your own music for your films, or just continue? Because the issue that we have is that we have the lyrics are original. Our own team member Dwayne, he sang, so it's his vocals, but the beat
Okay.
it's from a random YouTube. I think it's free, but it's from a random YouTube. Yeah.
All right, great, lovely question, because this is something that plays a lot of us, even with Avico and Maroons, as old as it is. I had to revamp the music recently because I was like, wait, I just remember I stole this music from some random something on YouTube, and I couldn't find it back to find out what the licensing procedure was. Hey, Roshane, So
Hello,
the
Roshan.
thing is, if you've taken this off YouTube, if you can find it back, look on that, go to that YouTube channel and look in the description to see if they have licensing terms. Because a lot of times they'll say to you, hey, you can use it for this and that and that. And all you need to do is just mention me in the credits or mention me whatever, and you're fine. In other situations, if you don't see what the licensing terms are, try to get an email address, try to find them Twitter, try to find them Instagram, message them and say, hey, I've done this film. Can you give me permission? I've done it. There was my very first animation were two mosquitoes having a conversation on somebody's arm before they got smacked to death. And there was this banjo music that I really wanted to use. And I went to the guy's website and I saw that he was selling this banjo stuff, but I was just like, yo, I can't afford this. I'm just doing this little idle animation for YouTube. Can you give me permission? And he was like, show me the animation. And I showed him the animation and he said, okay, yeah, you're good, go ahead. And I was like, oh, great. So just reach out to them if you don't see what the licensing terms are. And yeah, you should be fine. But for long term, if film festivals are things that you want to keep entering, I would say to you, partner with somebody who likes to create music, right? And because it's great for them too. They too can get awards, right? As I say, if I click on music contests, you see here. Oh, let me take off the marijuana filter. Right, you'll see there are lots of festivals that have music categories, so it benefits them as well. I'm there wanting, let me see what's, yeah, see, well, this one says music video, but
There's a
reach
trick
almost
I
feeling
want
like
to
a music
share
video.
with you as well.
Share it.
So sometimes when you're on YouTube, the person whose video introduced you to the music that you used, they steal the music from somewhere else too. So what you can do to find the original source, most people use this to look up songs they don't know when they hear it on the radio. You can simply take your phone, play the music, and Google will tell you who the original artist is if you use the Google Listen feature. I've
Yeah,
had to
there you
do it
go.
multiple times with music that I've used in my own animated shorts, where I just take my cell phone, I tell Google, listen to this, and it will tell me exactly not only who the original was, but where all the different spin-offs and covers and so on and so forth come from, which will kind of give you a shortcut to finding the person you need to email in the first place.
There you go. So yep, hope that, well, all right, so you say makes sense, so that clearly answers your question.
All right,
Any
so
other
you're going to
questions?
show them how to make the account, or we have more questions?
Yeah, let me cue that up in the meantime. So should I log out or should I just open a different browser? Let's open a different browser. Okay, I'm gonna log out.
It's because I don't remember the password, guys.
You know,
Bet you
I do.
anything.
I do. All right, just to prove you're
I
right.
don't.
You see how she boots me up? She boots me up and,
I'm projecting. I most certainly don't.
But did we
like,
see how him take the boosting though?
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right,
so boom, here we
guys.
are.
While he was bringing up the Film Freeway, he mentioned where I also have a different website. So it's also, I won't say that it's as all encompassing as Film Freeway, but it also shows a lot of the different festivals. So just as how you can use the Filmer to apply for it, you can use here to research the different ones. So I'm going to put a link in the chat to that, and see it there. I just sent it. But what I wanted to ask while we're going through here,
Kevin just brought it up on screen.
oh, see there? I just sent the link. That same one. Go ahead, Kevin. I don't want to interrupt like what you got there.
Okay. Yeah, man. So yeah, glad you brought that up. So there's another site that this one is based in UK, so it's lots of UK prices. But if you just want a site that is just specific to animation festivals, because you don't want to have to sift through, this is a great place to go as well. I am not on the site, so I'm not sure what it entails in terms of signing in, if it's similar to Film Freeway. I'm assuming it might be. And who knows, we can probably explore that together. I will start with the Film Freeway since I'm very familiar with that one. So as you can see, even without signing up, you can browse for different festivals, right? And you can see how it works if you want to see how it works. But of course, I showed you how it works. And I didn't go through the marketing option, but I don't think the marketing option, you'd be ready for that yet. The marketing option is simply, let's say you have an animation that you think is either taking the place by storm, or you feel like it can be pushed, but it's just not reaching enough eyes. You can actually pay for the marketing option, and what they will do is they'll publicize your festival, sorry, your film to festivals, and that way, it's increases the likelihood of your films being selected, because film festival programmers have so many films to look through that, if you save them the trouble of finding your film, it helps them a lot. And to not, the way to get around spending the money for that marketing is to just say, okay, let me just email them, hope them see the email. And normally if them see the email and you say, hey, I'm interested in entering this festival, they kind, because of that, they kind of remember you. Like with the Columbus, Ohio Film Festival that I won, I actually emailed them and said to them, hey, I'm from Jamaica. Can I submit to this festival? Because I see that it says Columbus Black Film Festival, but I just wasn't sure if a Jamaican could enter. And they say, yeah, man, you can enter. What you entering? And I said, oh, it's an animation. And I sent them, and them say, oh, yeah, man, definitely enter. And I know that probably helped my chances because they were looking for more animations and worse animations featuring Black people, right? So that just kind of automatically put it on their radar. Anyway, so let's go to sign up. So you can sign up through Facebook if you want, or Google if you want. If you don't want Uncle Sam to track every single movement, then you might want to, sign up with your erroneous or dummy email if you feel safer that way. But it don't really matter. You're being tracked no matter what you think. So I would have choose one of these options because it's just easier, and even if you forget your password, it won't kill you. But let's say you don't want to go the route of using your social media handle to thing there. Oh, I should also say that sometimes when you use your social media handle, not necessarily for Film Freeway, but I've found it with other sites, is that and this is part of the spying, it will advertise festivals to you on that platform. So if you sign into something with Facebook, you'll find that when you're scrolling through Facebook, it will start advertising certain festivals to you, right? Which again is not necessarily a bad thing if you want that. But let's go, sign up. You can put in your first name, last name, whatever, and let me just put in another email address that I have.
And a bit of house cleaning while he's talking. Guys, please have a separate email and social media for life and business, if you know what I mean. So your personal email address is just that, it's personal. Your company, your brand, your entity that you're going to be creating, it should be represented as its own thing. So as he mentioned that, so if you're going to go ahead with any social, it is the handles for your, for example, I know Mel and Dominic. Mel is Motley Mel. So if she's doing anything, she uses Motley Mel. And Dominic, so yeah. But
Yeah,
that's just
man.
like a house cleaning that we're going to emphasize. There should be no personal, I'm seeing pictures of you and your mom and your auntie on your business page. No disrespect to your mom and your auntie, but unless it's specific
Big up
to
Mama
growing
Auntie.
the
There is
audiences.
only
Yeah,
one exception to that rule, and I will tell you what the exception is.
a birthday post for your mom or your
Not
aunt.
even that. If
Oh,
if your family and your personal life is intrinsic to your branding for your
exactly.
business,
Right, right,
that
right.
is the only reason you should have your personal stuff. For example, there are at-home entrepreneurs who their branding is that they are a stay-at-home mom and they also run a business. and their target market is stay-at-home moms who run businesses, and so their social media is covered with pictures of their kids because it to their target market it sends the message that they're not faking it. They actually have their kids to take care of while they're doing business. But if your branding does not involve your family,
Right. It shouldn't be there.
it shouldn't be there. No party, no birthday,
Right.
no nothing.
Like I have two different Instagrams. One is personal where you know you
Mhm.
can't if you find me you can't see anything. That's where I keep like family and friend type photos. Some
Mhm.
professional stuff, but not deep professional stuff. And then I have my animation page, which is public, and people can see only animated stuff is on that page. I don't put anything personal on it at all. And that is because if person wants to find me for animation, all I want them to focus on is the animation. They will get annoyed if they follow you and then they start seeing you're posting cheesecake and callaloo quiche and your dog's birthday and your grandaunt surfing. You know, those things, they're not necessary if they just want to follow you for animation. Anyway, so after putting my name, email address, and password, we see here they ask you, hey, I want to submit my work or get tickets to festivals, which is what I'm going to click. But suppose you manage a film festival, you could click I manage a festival and want to list on Film Freeway, and they'll ask you what the name of the event is. So again, this is just going back to what Jonathan said. Suppose you're not a creative, but you just really like seeing animations and you want to create a place where animators can showcase their work and give them awards and blah blah blah. Maybe you are that person. Maybe you are that business person who, wants to put on a festival for people. Maybe you only want to see marijuana-based animation, so you create the Jamaica Spliff Film Festival. Who knows? Anyway, so you can read the terms of service and the privacy policy if you want. Of course, if you reject it, they're not going to allow you into them sites. So again, that is, entirely up to you. But I would definitely still recommend reading it so that if you, in terms of privacy policy and terms of service, you know what you are violating or not violating, or what violation they're committing against you. So okay, well, let me not upload this stuff because they might whatever. So sign up with email. So now it signed me in, and a few things here. So of course, you don't see any little picture here, so you can go here to add your picture. But before we do that, you see it's asking you, hey, add a project, right? And we had gone through what you do to add a project already, state the type of film, project type, etc. Credits, blah, blah, blah. But let's go here and see view profile. So of course you can change your photo, you can put whatever photo you want. It will go to your hard drive for you to select a photo. You can add a cover image. And I mean, all of these things I recommend you do so that, when people find your film, they see that you're a real person. Add a short intro. I definitely recommend you do that. Just fill in as much information as possible, because as I say, if recruiters are searching for certain type of people or certain type of films, the information really helps. You see here it asks you to add college, add high school, personal data, add trivia if you want, or add quotes if you want, contact information. So you notice here it says my contact information. I have email, website, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Now, stage 32 is something that you guys should get familiar with, but that's a completely different meeting / workshop. But stage 32 is basically the LinkedIn of the film world. So if you want to meet producers, you want to get certain professional webinars, you want to pitch to persons in the industry, stage 32 is the place to go. JANN had offered some free courses last year through a partnership with stage 32. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. So check it out, stage32.com. You add here the name of your company. The name of the company is mandatory. Address, email, phone number. Talent agent if you have a talent agent. Talent manager if you have a talent manager, because sometimes somebody might be contacting you, but you don't want them to contact you directly. You want them to contact your manager, or sometimes they want to contact your manager and not you directly, right? Legal representative, if you have a legal representative, and so on. It's pretty much self-explanatory as you're going through it, right? Filling out this information is pretty much self-explanatory. So news attachment, you can basically put up news items about yourself. You know, that's very important when, again, people are researching you, because so sometimes film festivals want to bring people who are like the next big thing or the up and coming big thing. And they might be looking through and seeing that, hey, this person has a few articles written about them and stuff like that. Oh, variety.com, etc., etc. And they might want to offer you a place in their festival. Now, this is something that's interesting. Sometimes people will actually give you waiver codes. So if the festival costs 60 US, because they want your animation, they might say to you, hey, I'm going to send you a waiver code, you get 50% off, or you get 100% off. It's a beautiful thing when that happens. But, you know, of course, they need to believe in your project, and some of the news you post about your project is worthwhile. Maybe you don't have a link to it, but is a, you know, something in the newspaper, you can take a picture and add it as an attachment, you know, or link to some websites where you're mentioned as a big deal. And then, of course, filmography and awards, you just state other films that you have done, awards that you have gotten, etc. Right. So pretty easy and self-explanatory. The biggest deal is the projects part. This is the part that you really want to ensure you fill out. Let me see. I think I'm going to fill one out for you so that you can see how to add your project, because that's a very important part. And remember, you can add your animations, you can add the scripts, songwriting, etc. VR is beta, so that's something they're experimenting with now, but we'll stick with the standard film/video. And let's say this is called Mice and Men. So a mouse and his pet man go scouting for cheese. And of course, if your project has non-English title and synopsis, then you can click here, but we're English speaking, so we don't have to look at that. Let's see now, credits. It says credits are not necessary. I don't see any asterisks beside it, but I'm going to put stuff in here anyway.
While Kevin is doing that, I would just like to mention earlier when he showed the articles, this may be another reason why your film might not get into particular festivals. It sounds bad to say, but sometimes festival organizers, regardless of the quality of your film, will say that you are not prolific enough to be in their festival because they're trying to grow. So your film could be absolutely amazing, but their goal is to grow their festival to Sundance proportions. So they might not choose you, even though everybody on the judging committee loves your work. So you might get selected for the festival and you don't win. So these are other things that might affect whether or not you are selected or a finalist. And this is not only in film festivals, this happens in any contest that is being held by any organization, depending on what the goal of the organization is. Your talent might not be the only thing that decides if you win.
Right, correct. All right, so completion date, this is the date that you completed your animation. If you don't remember when you complete it, try and just figure out around what date you think you completed it. Budget, you could put 0 if you want, or you could just say, hey, well, if I had paid the director, and if I had paid the writer, and if I had paid the animators, and if I had paid, it probably would have come up to 2,000 US or 20,000 US or whatever the case is, right? Select country, Jamaica is there. Country of filming, Jamaica is there. Language, English, I think it defaults to English, but still put it. Shooting format, digital 35mm, red, etc. Digital. Ratio 16:9, I'll leave that there. And you guys should know what 16:9 means. That's basically the HD widescreen format. Old time thing with your square TV was 4:3, but nobody don't use that no more. But who knows? Maybe you feel artistic, like what his name again? That brother there, Zack Snyder, who decided to do Justice League in 4:3, which was very weird, but there you go. Color, black and white, and color, black and white. I'll leave that as color. Student project, yes or no. First time filmmaker, yes or no. Screening, distributions, screening and awards. If you want to put in awards, you can add in all of that information. We're not going to add any of that. Distribution and sales agent, if you have that. Let's click save project. So now that I've saved project, it says congratulations, your project has been created. Add project file, upload link, or link your project file, browse festivals, etc. So basically, I can either choose the file from my computer and add it, or I can put a link to it. So if you don't feel like uploading your film, or too big to upload or whatever, you already have it on a Vimeo account or even YouTube and it's passworded, you can put in the link and the password, if there's a password, here, so that people can view your animation, right? And that's pretty much it, right? Question, so when Kevin is through, do you recommend using patois in films? Oh, great question. And if so, should captions, translations be placed in the film beforehand? All right, excellent question. And the question to that is yes, 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 yes. So I recommend patois films, but I recommend captioning them. So here's the thing about it. Everybody has different views on it. My opinion is that things should be in a natural language. But bear in mind that when things are in a natural language, it definitely is a barrier, because some people don't like to read subtitles, but you have to go put subtitles in it. Because film festivals will tell you, if it's not in English, they need to know, right? And if it's not in English, they need subtitles. The next thing is, you're not going to have much of a problem with subtitles with anything outside of the US. People outside of the US don't have a problem with subtitles, because if you go to England, when you walk the streets in London, you're barely seeing a white face anymore. You're seeing Indians, you're seeing Chinese people, you're seeing all kinds of it. So they're used to hearing different languages, and they're used to watching films in different languages because they're a part of Europe. So they watch films from Spain, from Russia, from Italy, from Portugal. So they're used to that. Americans just listen to their own voice. So they only really listen to English. So subtitles might bother Americans. It's not going to bother Canadians. It's not going to bother South Americans or Europeans. So yeah, caption your stuff, right? Caption your stuff. All right, so I'm not going to bother to choose because you can pretty much guess what happens after here. You know, it pretty much creates, well, you know, let's do it anyway. Let's find something. Let's find something. There's animation for this. I'll just click this. Last one. So it's uploading, right? And it uploaded fast because it's an MP4, so it's very, we call it efficient for online. If you use MOV, it's usually bigger, takes longer. And then you see here, hey, congrats, your video is processing. You want to browse festivals or you want to add another project, right? Up to you. But before we even move on to that, because it's still processing, before we even move on to that, what I will now say is, now is the time to really get into your marketing mind. And this is the part that all of us need to think about. It's great to create your animation, but now you need to take the next step and you need to think about creating a poster for your animation. You need to think about a trailer for your animation and, you know, put up a still photo from, you can put up a still photo of anything. You can put up a still frame from the animation itself. You can put up a still frame of your team, whatever. But the poster needs to be a poster. And I think if you click on it, I thought it was going to tell you the size, but you can search and say, all right, poster, poster, poster. I don't really have a poster image for this because this is a client's commercial. But let's say I put this, you'll see that come up there. And if you want to add a trailer, let me give you the option of adding a link or choosing a file again. And, you know, if I want to add a photo, and you can add several photos. All of these things just help people who are looking at your submission to gain more information. News articles and reviews, you can add that. Other files and attachment that you feel might be necessary. Maybe it's your pitch Bible or, you know, something like that. Add director's biography. I would recommend this because once a film festival selects you, they're going to want your bio. And if your bio is right there already, it's just easy for them to just snap it into their program rather than email you saying, hey, can I get a bio? You can add your director's headshot, so put a picture of yourself so people know what you look like, and again they can post that on their program. And I did this already, directors in etc. So pretty much don't just add your project and just let it so. You really want to go through the whole thing of, hey, let me add a poster, let me add this, let me add that, because when a festival is promoting your work, they want to know that they can just go on Film Freeway, grab the poster and put something up, or they can grab stills and put something up, rather than having to email you and then maybe you see the email, maybe you don't. There's a credits tab as well. Let me see. I don't really see the difference with it, but oh yeah, this is just showing the credits that I had filled in earlier and the specifications that I had filled in earlier. Yep.
Just to cut you for a quick minute, I just want to drive home the point you just made, because this is the section that many animators skip because they're not graphics designers and they're not marketing agents and they're not salespeople, and so they get very easily annoyed by this. But imagine if you went to a movie theater and all you saw was the title of the movie and it was just a title. There's no poster in the box, so you're looking at like the light in the background, and then you go through and they're like, okay, what's it about? And there's no summary, and
exactly.
just like you at the movie theater, why should I watch this movie? No, you're going to turn and you're going to go to Marvel, and you're going to be like, okay, Marvel have a good track record. I like how this poster looks. I know this is supposed to be about Thor or Loki or whatever. And even though you haven't watched the movie, you have an idea because you've seen it in the newspaper, you've seen it all over Giphy or Facebook, and this is the section where you give yourself the best chance of making a good first impression on the judges and on the persons who are selecting. This is because what they're going to see is your poster. What they're going to see is your synopsis. This is your advertising before they ever see your film.
Yeah, an excellent point which I'll tack on to quickly is that for me with Abiko Maroons, because it has such a strong African heritage, it resonates very well with Black community, you know, both in Africa, African diaspora, etc. And it helps when they look on the project and they look and they say, oh wait, this is animated characters with, you know, Black characters in it, and they gravitate towards it because they are trying to show more films that show people that look like, you know, the audience, because the audience, it makes a difference when a Black person sees themselves on screen. When you watch anime all your life and you see these characters that are not Black, you start drawing like them, and nothing is wrong with drawing like them. It's a genre, it's a great genre. But you literally delete your identity from your work. And what happens is that the world starts to think that, oh, only this art style is cool, and we must not draw any other way. It's something I suffered from in the past. And when you look at kids who see people who look like them on screen, it makes such a big difference in their world. When Black Panther came out, kids just got, so excited to see somebody that looks like them on screen. And, festivals will look on your images and go, yes, this is what I want. I actually spoke with somebody from a festival in South Africa, and I sent them animations from persons in Jamaica, and the animations kind of have an anime feel, or they look very Nickelodeon. And the woman outright rejected them. She said, no, we don't want any of this. They can see this on Nickelodeon. They can see this on Disney. We want something that looks more Jamaican, something that looks more Caribbean. And so I sent them stuff that looked more Jamaican, more Caribbean, and they're like, yes, this is what we want, because this is what the people want to see. They want to see people that look like them. Spoke with a lady in Australia, same thing she said. She was like, hey, we want some Jamaican content that look Jamaican. And I said to the lady, you're from Australia, which is predominantly white. Why do you want this? She said, we have a lot of Aborigines who they have nothing that shows them things that depict them. And Black culture is the closest thing. And on top of it, they love Jamaica. So if they get something from Jamaica with people that look like them, they're going to gravitate towards it. So that is why she was specifically looking for that, because Australia has tons of shows with white people in it. And so that makes, it makes a different representation, makes a difference in the eyes of these festival scouts, right? That's why you see a lot of queer and saying that's why you'll see a lot of queer and like gay specific festivals, because they realize, okay, persons of that persuasion are excluded from a lot of things, so they want to include them. You might see things about people with disabilities because they get excluded from a lot of things. You watch movies with a man in a wheelchair and it's acted by somebody who can actually walk. What happened to the actor who's actually bound to a wheelchair? Why didn't they get that role, right? But that's a different story. So getting back to this now quickly so that I can give it back to John, and John can find out from you guys what it would take to complete your work. You can edit your project. So, you can change things about your project. This comes in handy, especially if you have added awards that you want to add in your screen, so I call it award section, or, a change of credits or whatever the case is. Right. The project file, you can actually change the project file. So if you decided, hey, I've made some adjustments to my project file, I've refined reach, I'm going to replace the video now, or we found better music for it, I want to replace the video, you can do that. Or if you want to remove the video because maybe you decided that, hey, you know what, I don't want no festival person looking at my film, I want them contact me if they want to look on my film, which I don't recommend, but if for some reason you feel like doing that, right? And of course you can select your subtitle, captions, etc. Privacy, you can decide if you want festivals only to look at it, a limited set of people. It says my project page displays my project details publicly, trailer photos, but my project file is only visible to let me move there, visible to festivals. Password protected, public, you decide what you want your privacy profile to be like. And now finally the marketing options, which I told you about. As you can see here, you have different options. $20 per day, wow, that's a lot of money. $10 per day if you're a gold member. So it says here, your project will be featured in this special section on the festival dashboard page of every festival manager and festival programmer account on Film Freeway. Over 10,000 festivals worldwide. Festivals can invite your project to submit with a full entry fee waiver or discount code with just one click. So again, I would only spend this money if I know, say, yo, I really strongly feel like my thing is a hit and I just want to get it in front of the eyes of as many festival owners as possible so that they can reach out to me and say, hey, we want you film in our festival. Because if they select you, it's a very high likelihood you will win or you will get very far. Right? They're not going to go out of their way to say, come, jump into this only for you to be knocked out at the first round. That wouldn't make any sense, right? They have here featured projects. Your project will be featured in special section on the festival submissions page of every festival manager and festival programmer account on Film Freeway. Festivals can invite your project submits. Pretty much saying the same thing here. It says next available September 6th. Email marketing. So project in the spotlight, dedicated email, a special dedicated email blast showcasing your project and sent directly to management and program staff. So they'll email persons in Film Freeway. This says one spot left for September 11, or deadline or available on September 11. And as you can see, the prices go up, and you see it's very expensive. You have no submitting, and again, it's just saying that your thing will be highlighted special section within our weekly newsletter and sent directly to management. And the list goes on: hot list, film of the week, filmmaker to watch, trailer of the week, script of the week, etc., etc. So this is not a section that I would touch at this stage in your career. This is a section that I would touch when you've reached that stage where you realize that, okay, I'm winning quite a few awards, I'm getting quite a few interviews, people are noticing me internationally, my animation is of a certain quality that people are talking about, and now I want to spread my project much further. I'm willing to spend this money. In some cases, right, and again, this could be for another thing, session altogether itself, there are grants for entering film festivals, right? Because they know that film festivals are expensive. There are grants that you can get money to pay for things like this, right? But that's another story. That's another step for a different stage, right? So that is my rant about Film Freeway. I think you can explore animationfestival.com on your own. It would have a similar feel most likely. And I'm gonna hand it back over to John. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for.
Thanks for that, Kevin. And as you guys saw, especially with that setup at the front, the world really makes things very, very easy for you. Once you go through and do that first setup, it's then just a matter of entering the festivals that you directly want to enter. Now, as he said, I'm going to be asking, how far are you? So, for example, what needs to be done for you to feel, or for us to say that the animation is ready for the festival? And do you have a team of people who can do it, or will you need assistance with getting a team of people to do it? So, for and we can start with them with reach about 10 or so seconds. I don't want to say, but we saw where the quality of it faded off at the end, and we know it was a time constraint. So we can just start there and work away. What or how long would you need in your mind to get it finished? And do you have the persons who could assist you with that, or would you need to find those people?
The current moment, first of all, I would say that it's a bit, maybe more than just the 10 seconds you said, because it was both my background animator and another person who did, I want to say, the last minute of the animation.
Right.
And that generally I'd want to, no insult to them, but I'd want to do that over.
Okay.
Time wise, that's it. I want to say a month and a half to get it to the quality I want. As for team members, again, no insult to them, but I believe I could almost do it better on my own or with a different team.
Are you still a student?
Technically, no.
Technically, no. No, I asked because the thing is, let me tell you, we could all do these things on our own, but you have to be realistic with, do I have the time to do it to the
To do
quality
it
that
on
I
my own.
want? Right? Yeah, and here's the thing, unless you and those other persons had a falling out, it might be best just to reach out to them and say, hey, I had this session with JANN and they kind of convinced me to enter some film festivals, but they recommended me fix this last piece. would you be on board to spend the next month and a half helping me fix it up? I feel like they'll say yes. I feel especially that Gabrielle will say yes. I strongly feel she will. Don't quote me on that, but I think, unless you fell out with them, unless the animation was so stressful that y'all threw cheesecake at each other and now no vex, I think they can work it out.
Actually, even if you throw cheesecake at each other, you can work it out, you know.
I wouldn't vex with you if you throw cheesecake at me, so please.
No, right?
I mean, I'd be vexed at me. I just wasted cheesecake.
That yes, that would be
True,
that would
true.
be the part that made me upset.
That's true.
If I caught it with my mouth, I'd be very happy. But otherwise,
Yeah. But no, but seriously, reach out to them. But at the same time, if you do want to do it on your own, ask yourself strongly, do I really have the time? I mean, yeah, school, you don't have no work, maybe you're waiting on graduation. So yeah, maybe you could, but you have to be realistic. You have to really look on your time and say to yourself, say, well, even though I think I can do it in a month and a half, what tends to happen in the week is that mommy sends me grocery shopping, and then the car need to fix and insure, and I have to go do that. The dog needs to go to the vet. I have to go to this job interview, and before you know it, a month and a half pass, and you've done nothing.
Well,
So,
that's very true. But do you mean like a month and a half from currently right now? Because
well,
in that
whenever
same
you
aspect,
decide, I assumed it was from now, but I mean, this you decide when that 1.5 start. Oh, I mean,
well,
month and a half starts.
well, yeah, because I took on a few different projects currently, so that month and a half
okay.
isn't currently.
So
See it
that
there?
is what we're talking about. You do not, if you wait until you are free, you will never get it done.
Because guess
That is
what? One job leads to another. After you do these 2 gigs, two more people going to recommend you, and then you're going to get another gig, and then another gig, and then a year later, many gigs later, the month and a half passed 10 times.
So let me share something that I heard from winners of Kingston um, with you all. And Patrick is one of them who also said this to me. Doing a short animation is a full time job. So if you decide you're going to finish your animation, just know that you are taking on another job. So if you're working any job now, you're about to work 2 jobs. It is not something, the mindset, and guys, be honest with yourself, the mindset is going to be, oh, I can just do it in my free time. I have lots of free time. You don't have lots of free time. You really don't. You have what you think is free time. Just think about it. In a week, you have chores. These are the chores you have to do every single day. You have your job. You have whatever emergency is going to pop up when you decide that you are going to sit down and work.
All
And
right,
I'm very serious. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to jump on something Jan said, which is
Mm-hmm.
you have to schedule the time, set a timer for an hour or two to work on it. And I agree with her on this because my first animation that I submitted to a festival called Runners, like I said, for about a year, that project was on and off, on and off, on and off. I start, I stop, I start, I stop, I start, I stop. And then it wasn't until I said, you know what, I want to enter Anime Caribe. And I literally told myself 2 hours a day, 2 hours a day, no matter what. And what I did was friends would call me, yo, I could go out and have a drink now. No, I'm busy because the 2 hours a day had to get done. Me now go out for no drinks till 2 hours done. And what you find is that the 2 hours more often than not, it might only be an hour sometimes, but there are many times when the 2 hours go to 4 hours because you're just on a roll. And it got finished when I needed it to get finished to submit it for Anime Caribe. So you do have to do some more breaking down of your thing. Like you have to look on what's left and say, all right, this last minute now, the background not so hot, or two of the backgrounds not so hot and need to be improved. The character lines need to be refined for these 5 shots. And
Prop
whatever
design needs to
else,
be changed.
VFX, whatever, and then now you have to break that work down and say, okay, if I only have one background artist, that background artist has to focus on these two backgrounds. It might take them 2 weeks to do each background. The character line refinement, I might need 2 or 3 people working on this. Maybe one person working on the guy with no arm, another person working on the girl, somebody else working on the people in the background, or whatever the case is. And each person can refine this in a week. If the three of them doing this all at one time, great. If it's you one, then it's 3 weeks. Break it down to that level and see if you can get it done on a schedule. Just tell yourself or even ask your friends, hey, how much time you think you can commit to this a day? If I even 15 minutes, like John said, jump on Discord with them and on share on the screen and on the work together. It works. Shireen and I do it all the time whenever we're having a creative block. And we're like, yo, I just don't feel like doing it today, but I have to complete this. And I say, all right, link me on Discord. And while we're on Discord, we actually get some momentum going. Even if it's 15 minutes, that's 15
I think
minutes less than have to
Hachi
work
has
on
joined the
tomorrow.
group now as well.
Yeah. All right. So Dominic, I hope that gives you an idea of what you need to do to get it done. I don't know when you want to decide to start, but I definitely recommend that if you want to do the festival thing, if you got after this thing, you decide, say, I kind of want to do the festival thing, go talk to your friends who worked on this with you. Talk to other people. If they no longer want to do it, you're in a class full of people. You can ask enough people.
Also, guys, you can also work with us. We have work
That
sessions every Sunday at 4 on the JANN Discord. Um, I will
yeah,
put the link in the chat. But we have work sessions every Sunday at 4 until whenever we are finished to
right,
music. We just sit down and work. Whether it's your personal project, the project you've been procrastinating on for the last 5 years,
right,
just to get stuff done.
yeah. All right. So Dom, you don't have any other questions? And John, you got what you needed from Dom? Come on, move on to somebody else.
Well, we never know because he still hasn't stated what needs to get done and how long. So, what specifically edits needs to be made? But we can have a more in-depth discussion. But for the other persons with videos, it would be the same question. What do you think, or what needs to get fixed, and do you have persons to do it?
All right, let me hear from Mel.
Yes, Dark Hallway. Let's go.
Mel, are you there? Okay, great. So could you tell us like what you feel needs to be fixed on your animation to make it ready for festival? Are you even interested in entering festivals? You can open your mic and give us a chat.
I'm fairly certain she didn't answer. Or did I not
She
hear it?
did in the chat.
Oh, my bad.
She did? Oh no,
Oh,
well
she
I
Yes.
said
saw
I
I
am
didn't
here in the
hear.
chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Mel, you feel comfortable talking? Or so you're not interested in adding it to a festival right now.
Okay.
So you
Can
want to
we?
enter it later though. Go ahead, Sharon.
I was gonna say, can we move to Eliora?
Yeah.
Because she has a problem that I have faced that I think I can help her with, which is
Okay, cool.
you have a team, but you are not sure if they are interested in entering festivals, but you are.
Okay,
So
well, we just actually had a mini WhatsApp meeting, and they seem interested actually. But I still would like to hear your solution to that issue. I don't know if anybody else might have it. I'd like to hear
that is
your
true.
solution.
So I would just like to let you guys know that when you work, so particularly when you get together as a team, assuming that you're not hired to work on anybody else's anybody else's project. You all have equal ownership of that project. So I'm going to give you two examples. I volunteered to work on Agwe back in, what was that, Kevin? 2018?
I think it was 2018, 2018 or
Yeah.
2017. One or the other.
So because I was hired to work on Agwe, that is not my IP. I cannot decide to enter it into a festival. However, if all of you got together and said you are going to make an animated short, each of you has equal ownership of that IP because you have created it together. What you can do is you can contact your teammates and said, I'm interested in entering our animation into festivals. You don't necessarily have to be involved in the festival aspect of it. I will leave your name there in the credits unless you would like me to take it out. Because some people, they don't want their names to be on a festival entry because they feel that that's not the kind of work they want to be known for, or they don't like the quality of the work, and that's fair. So if they would like their name to be taken out of it, you can speak to them about that. But you do all have equal ownership of the IP if you sat down and decided to create it together. Explain to your teammates that you want to enter the festival and then discuss how you will handle crediting and the amount of work that they may or may not have to do. Because it might be that they want to enter the festival, but they don't necessarily want to commit to redoing separate parts of the animation, in which case they would still get credit for the areas that they have worked on. Or, but whoever you bring on to work with you on changing this project and making it better would get new credit for these sections. So it is a matter of being able to have a discussion with your teammates. Jan said you can take a step further and buy them out, or have them forfeit the benefit of the project benefits. That is also an option. I don't definitely go there first because that can start fights, but if that is a step you want to take, that is also an option. Yeah, that is the last resort. If they definitely never want to enter this into a festival, you can make a suggestion that you have the festival rights to this IP, so you want to enter it in festivals.
Yeah.
There's still credit on it, but you would then become the default owner. So if they ever want to enter it into a festival, they will have to contact you because you have the festival rights. But it is a matter of having a discussion with your teammates and letting them know. Reaching out is the best way to go about it. If you have someone that says, no, we're not entering this into a festival, they don't actually have the right to tell you that. This is where you would interject with you would like to buy their rights.
Well, that is kind of what we were talking about earlier. Um, when it comes to if you just want to create and you don't want to actually network and talk, that option is perfect for you per se, because some persons really and truly their focus is just the art.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's what I think is going to do, and I think it's going to be more beneficial if we go this way. We have a listing of all the different works. How about we look at the works, we find out what needs to get done, and then individually we talk to the individual persons, because it's not this talk. We need to actually put together a timeline of for those who are interested, not everybody. So this is not like we're going to force you, but for those who are interested, right? There's about a dozen festivals that are still active that you can submit for the rest of the year. So the latest one I know of is October 30th. That is the last deadline I know. So between now in September, I know there's one September 15, which is the closest to this date, but between now and October, there's about 12 or 13 different festivals. And as we had mentioned, it's not everything everybody going to enter. So what we would look at is for persons who have something available in the immediate future, we start that process. And for those who are not ready as yet, we start that timeline so you can work at it for next year. Submissions usually start around February, March, and it stretch go right back down to October. So for next year, you would have a longer cushion to actually get the work done and get it done to the quality that you'd want. I think that make more sense than we just try to say, okay, then, well, it's 40 seconds. I have 7 seconds I need to animate and I need a background designer. It's not really as inclusive as to all the needs that you would need to get your actual thing done. That makes sense?
That's perfectly fine. So I guess from here can we get either in the chat or here a
Who
list of
wants to
persons
follow up?
who
Right.
want to follow up with entering your animations into festival? Um, and then another list of persons who would more like to go on the development track, which is you want to develop something for
For
next
next
year.
year. Also, while we're here and we are expecting everybody to answer that, Roshane, um, something that we're going to talk about is, and I called you out specifically because you are at UTech and you're quite known and so forth. We need to start engaging persons who are wanting to be a part of the industry, but they're not exactly creatives. So persons who want to work as digital marketers, persons who want to work as producers or production managers, persons who want to work as executive assistants and so forth. While you guys are focusing on the art, there is a lot of work that runs concurrently to that in terms of project tracking, project planning, project financing that has to be done correctly. And we want to start finding and introducing those persons. So something that I'm going to ask everybody here to do is I can send my number in the group, but we want to start talking and engaging those persons because for us to really get the industry going out here, we need press, we need reviews, we need persons who are not just creating the work, but looking at the work and it's their sole job to make everybody who can watch the work watch the work. That makes sense?
And
Yes,
not
no,
just
maybe
watch the
so.
work, hear about it.
Right. Promoters, marketers, persons like that. And we have persons out here who we all know them, like they can tell you every season of an anime and they can critique it and they can tell you the writers, the actors, all the different persons. And they necessarily don't want to draw, but they will watch everything and give us honest reviews and honest feedbacks. And with persons who are journaling students who want to write and they don't have anything to write about this, write about persons who are entering festivals. So we need to start working on those adjacent areas of the industry to get those going. Because, guys, really and truly, I
John,
am new. Go ahead.
you need to give him time to answer.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry to cut you, but I saw him unmute and then he muted again. So, Roshane,
Oh no, I was answering yesterday's question, like to find the people and such. So I do agree
Tasha,
that there are people who are not so savvy on the creation aspect. So I'm gonna have to send out like messages to like the persons I know who are interested in this stuff and probably want to work as the project manager slash etc.
okay. So, so let's see. Tasha has answered. Dominic has answered. Janelle has answered. Eliora,
So I'd like to enter.
you'd
I'd
like
like
to
to enter.
enter for this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this year is Eliora. I'm assuming second chance is what you want to enter.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Tomorrow. Greetings and
All right,
salutations.
before, oh, all right, want to make them.
Yeah,
Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Hearing
We're
you.
hearing
So
you.
the question is, do you want to enter a festival? If no, it's fine. But if yes, this year or next year?
Oh, I'm a part of the second chance team, so it's, it's fine. Whichever.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Tasha said next year. All right. So for the persons who are going to be enrolled next year, well, we can start talking about that. So with Jan's website,
Um,
they're going to be.
guys, one moment. We are missing Melissa.
Melissa said no
Oh, Melissa
for
said
this
no,
year.
not.
Yeah, she doesn't wish to enter festival.
Okay, so I'm gonna put Melissa under no. Um, Mary, and there's someone unnamed here. I don't know who you are.
I don't see any unnamed person. Mel is here twice, so I don't know if that's what you're saying.
Oh, that might be what I'm seeing. Never mind. Okay. Mary,
Um,
are you interested in entering?
Elio, I want to know, Elio, is there a poster for your second chance?
There is. It says second chance coming soon. That's all that's on it.
Yeah, I think you want something beyond coming soon now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
All right.
Tasha, does yours have a poster or marketing
Yeah.
material? It does. Okay, great.
Okay.
Oh, can I ask a
So,
question? How many people here have a Film Freeway account already? You can say it in the chat.
I
I
signed up.
think I-
I had signed up originally when you told me about it.
Okay, so
okay.
Mary, Tasha, John.
Mary, Taja.
And Tasha, you already started entering
Yes,
for
Dominic. That counts no if you're making it known.
great. Dominic, thank you.
Um,
I believe Tasha has started entering festivals already, so that's a good step.
okay. Eliora, Roshan, do you have a Film Freeway account?
Yosh.
Okay, okay. Okay, and Eliora said no.
And just remind me, Damara said that he's on somebody else's project?
Yeah, he's a part of Elora,
Oh,
second chance.
okay. So yeah, one of the two of you need to have a Film Freeway account, or both of you.
Right.
Depends on who you want to represent the film.
Okay. And I have written down all the answers. Correct me if I'm wrong. The persons who wish to develop for next year are Taja, Mary, Dominic, Janelle. Persons for this year are Elioro, and that would be Damaro, which would be the second chance team. And then those who have Film Freeway accounts are Mary, Rashane, Taja, and Dominique. Elioro and Damaro don't have any, and Melissa is not interested in entering festivals.
Right.
Did I get anybody wrong? Incorrect?
Now, Jan mentioned that she had two projects, that she had two ideas. Does she want to develop those for next year? I don't think that was
Um,
answered.
she answered that she wanted to develop for next year, so I assumed that
Yeah,
that was what she was.
because me
Yeah.
not have nothing ready for this year at all.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. So it's currently
Let me
30
ask.
minutes after 3, so I would say wrap up, guys.
Yeah, man. I want to wrap up my side by asking now, does everyone feel comfortable that they understand how to navigate Film Freeway, and do they understand how to target festivals they believe their animation would be best for? Does everyone feel comfortable with that? Tasha says yes.
Yes, as well.
So yes,
Actually gain more understanding from the examples that you had given.
yes, but about my two, I will consult you. Sure.
Yes, please consult us, guys.
All right, awesome. Well, that's the only question from me. Please consult us, like Shireen said. And if we haven't seen your film, show it to us. We can also look out for festivals we believe your animation will be best for. I think just recently I said to Taja, if her film has anything to do with mental illness, which I remembered it having something to do with that, she can target festivals that are looking at that. Because what you find a lot of times is a great way to win an award is that festivals will be themed, like the Lignum Vitae Film Festival in Mandeville is themed, and hardly anybody ever submits anything towards the theme. And there's usually an award specifically for the theme. So if you have something that has to do with mental illness and your anime, you find a festival that has to deal with that, try see if you can submit it to that and see if it helps. That's it from me. I will shut up now.
I will.
Well, go ahead.
Right, I'll just I don't. Oh wait, Sharon. All right, well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just answering Dominic's question about the best way to reach us. You can reach us on Discord. I just put the link in the chat. There's also info@animationjamaica.com. That's our email. Typing both and putting it in the chat. You are more likely to get a response via Discord because Lise, myself, or Kevin are always connected there. However, if you send an email, we will respond to you. We are monitoring the email. You can also message us on Instagram or Twitter or social media as well.
Our Facebook group.
Our Facebook group.
Oh, guys, I have my phone number. That is me. You text me or call me. That's the best way to reach me. I'm not as good as calls, but if you send me a text, it will be answered within a 2 to 3 hour time period.
Yeah.
Tops.
The only thing Jamaican time applies to is Facebook. Everything else is real time processing.
But okay, John wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Right, I was just saying that for those who already have projects up and if they need some certain type of support, like the marketing support, I was saying that I can help with that. So if you need someone to help flesh out your storyboard or if you flesh out the story, as well as I know that if lots of the persons who are animators are not necessarily designers, so things like your posters and stuff like that, especially for those, and I'm offering the help for those who already have the projects and then want to put that out, especially for the batch who want to do something this year, that we can help with. So if you need help with your social media presence or to promote that project a little bit better, I can help with that.
All right. If you don't mind me asking, what is your main background, John, please?
Oh, my main thing is marketing.
Oh, that sounds so nice. Let me send my contact information. So it's Creative Studio. So we are now, all right. So what I'm also going to ask, and I'm asking everybody here to commit to this, is to please, we need the support of non-creatives to be able to move forward. The work that you do, it's very painstaking. If you're creating a 1 minute video, you're doing 24 frames a second, that's a whole heap of frames, and you're doing all of this frame by frame. You don't have the mental bandwidth to do that. Manage a company, market your company, sell your services. Like there's certain trade-offs that happen depending on the work that you want to do. And we need the assistance of the persons who want to do that type of work so you can actually have more productive time. So you'll make those who want to do that so you can focus on what you want to do. And you are the persons who would know the guys who wanted that. But right now, it's not as lucrative for them because the industry is not there as yet. So we're working on it, but we need to get introduced to them. So we're asking you to ask them to reach out to us or to send them to us or to give us their name so we can reach out to them. And that is the final thing that I want to leave you guys with. We need all the help we can get. Graphic designers, digital marketers, Google Analytics, the whole nine yards.
Accountants.
The whole 9 yards. Because trust me, the JANN team, them at work. I got introduced to them recently, and when I see all that goes in on a day to day, trust me, Kevin and Sharon especially, they don't stop. And I know I work hard, but them need the help. And we are supposed to help them as best as we can because what they're doing is for us and our betterment.
Okay, so just
I
the
want,
finishing points.
I
I'm
wanted to
just
answer
going through the
Elior's
chat.
question. Elior asked a question. So
Mm-hmm.
Elior, yeah, so if you enter some festivals, say for example, you enter a festival now, and the festival is in November, but by October you have made a new version, then what I would say to you is you can upload the new version, remove the old version, and email the festival to say, hey, I uploaded a new version onto Film Freeway. So if you have downloaded the old version, please go in and download the new one. If, however, let's say you spotted a festival and you've entered the festival, but they have not selected your film yet, then chances are they have not viewed your film yet. And so you can go ahead and upload the new version and remove the old version. And, you know, by the time they select it, they will see the new version.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that works.
Okay.
As for what you said, Taja, can I contact you privately about the student abroad interested in producing? I'm making the note no, because I think John, that's directly you. Oh, yes, I love people who have LinkedIn's. They're great. Thank you. Copy. All right, so guys, thank you for your time. You have been very patient with us, and you have been here. We will contact you with next steps on this endeavor. Specifically, Eliora's team, we will be working very closely with you. For those of you who want to develop for next year, what you can look out for is a timeline of deadlines that you will have to meet so that you are on track, and next year it's not I have 2 months and I need to get a whole animation done in 2 months,
Right.
because not all of us are Hachi. We don't have time to work day and night, and we want you guys to sleep, take care of yourself, self-care and all that goodness. Don't be like me and Kevin, who are like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, always awake. Don't follow us.
Facts.
We're bad examples.
But yes, guys, it is nice to meet everybody here. Once you get to know me more, we can talk and so forth. But it was a pleasure to meet you all, and I look forward to working with you all as time goes by.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's it. That's been your new community development manager, Jonathan Roberts. And
All right, folks. Have a good Sunday. Remember,
Yes,
sleep,
enjoy yourself.
move.
bye, everyone.